You open your brokerage account and see a sea of red, but a few days later, your monthly dividend check clears anyway. That is the practical goal of an income investor. You want a business that produces steady, reliable cash flow, regardless of what the broader economy is doing. Main Street Capital, ticker symbol MAIN, is a textbook example of this. Since it listed on the New York Stock Exchange 18 years ago, it has never cut its regular dividend. But buying it requires overcoming a major mathematical hurdle related to net asset value, or NAV. NAV is simply the intrinsic value of a company's underlying assets if you sold them all off today. Traditional value investing logic suggests looking for a discount. In the specific financial sector Main Street operates in, the average company trades at about a 26% discount to its NAV. You are paying 74 cents for a dollar of actual assets. This quadrant chart plots out the sector. Looking at the horizontal axis for valuation and the vertical axis for dividend reliability, we can see how Main Street breaks the normal rules. To buy it, you usually have to pay a 50 to 100% premium. The industry average is clustered down here in the bottom left. These assets are cheap to acquire, but their dividends are far less reliable over time. Main Street sits way up here. It has top-tier reliability, but you are paying 1.5 to 2 times the value of the actual assets just to own the stock. This sets up a specific dilemma. We have to figure out if the mathematical output of this company's dividend engine actually justifies paying that steep premium. This stacked column chart maps out Main Street's total yield, which usually sets between 6 and 8%. That yield is driven by a unique 2-tiered dividend structure. The foundation is the regular dividend. Management sets this as an inflexible baseline designed to survive any market cycle. On top of that is the supplemental dividend. This is purely bonus cash. When the economy is booming, this layer expands, pushing that total yield closer to the 8% mark. To see how this holds up under stress, we can track this timeline back through the 2 worst economic shocks of the last 20 years, the 2008 financial crisis and the 2020 COVID crash. Notice what happens to that top layer. When the economy contracted in both 08 and 20, the supplemental dividends vanished completely, but the baseline held. The regular dividend avoided cuts and actually trended slightly upward right through the middle of both panics. By protecting that baseline, Main Street has grown the regular dividend by 136% over the last 18 years, without a single interruption. Owning this stock requires a strict trade-off. You forfeit a predictable peak yield because that bonus cash will fluctuate, but in exchange, you secure an incredibly resilient baseline income. Despite that dividend history, Main Street's stock price takes dips, and right now, it's facing downward pressure from general market anxiety. To understand if that anxiety makes sense, we have to look at how they make their money. Main Street is a business development company. They act like a bank, lending capital to medium-sized private businesses. Their internal engine runs differently than most of their competitors. They take an average 30% equity ownership stake in their portfolio companies, far higher than the industry median of 6%, while also collecting interest on loans. They also manage their funds in-house, keeping operating fees the lowest in the sector. This scorecard measures those internal mechanics against the 2 big macroeconomic fears driving the current price drop, starting with artificial intelligence. Investors are terrified AI will bankrupt the software companies that BDCs traditionally lend to. However, looking at their balance sheet, software and internet services make up only 4% of their portfolio. And of that tiny fraction, 99% is legally secured as first lien, meaning Main Street is first in line to get paid back if a bankruptcy happens. The second fear is dropping interest rates. BDCs issue variable rate loans. The theory is that as rates dropped through 2024 and 2025, BDC income should have collapsed. Yet Main Street's earnings reports show their net investment income actually grew by 6% year over year. That growth comes directly from their unique structure. The dividends they generate from those large equity stakes, combined with their rock-bottom operating expenses, insulate their cash flow from falling rates. The numbers show the current dip is driven by irrational sector panic, not a breakdown of Main Street's actual business engine. Because Main Street is priced for perfection, it is highly volatile. At the first sign of bad news, it crashes significantly harder than the overall market. Look at the COVID crash from February to March of 2020. The drop was severe and sharp, but buying during that peak fear paid off. An investor who bought the dip right in mid-March would have seen a total return that nearly doubled the S&P 500 over the following years. To figure out exactly when to execute that kind of trade, we can use this decision matrix. It maps out your strategy based on your specific investor profile. First, if your core philosophy requires buying assets below their intrinsic value, you must avoid Main Street entirely. It will never fit a traditional value buying criteria. If your goal is income or total return, your primary task is obsessively monitoring Main Street's price to NAV ratio. When market euphoria pushes that premium up to 2 times NAV, the math stops working. At that point, you hold off and wait. The historical, mathematically sound trigger to buy the dip is when that premium contracts down to around 1.5 times the net asset value. Right now, we are approaching that exact 1.5 threshold, making this a highly critical window for observation. Main Street Capital operates as a premium income engine that demands a high entry fee. Securing these consistent returns requires accepting that valuation premium and executing on buy triggers during periods of irrational market fear.